Hi, everyone. Thank you, David. I was born 42 years ago in Israel to a right-wing family. And from the moment I remember myself, I wanted to be a soldier. And when I turned 18, like almost every Israeli, I joined the Israeli army. And I remember the feeling of pride that I'm happy to serve my country. I joined one of the toughest units. It's an infantry unit. And as you can see in this picture, I'm quite happy, probably thinking to myself, here, what will be the shortest way to become chief of staff? And I got the biggest gun in my platoon. Now, while serving in the army, quite fast I became an officer, and I spent a lot of time in the West Bank. And it was the first time I saw images that I didn't like, images I didn't see before. And I thought that there's a lot of injustice there. So, to cut long story short, it took me a while, but eventually I refused to serve in the West Bank, and instead I served time in jail. This is the jail I serve in. And because I was an officer, the condition was quite okay. So it was almost like a vacation, almost like being in a hotel, but with the shitty food and no access to a swimming pool. But it gave me time to think. And I was thinking, how can I show to the Israeli public what I saw in the West Bank? And I decided that probably the best thing I should do is make documentary films. And this is what I did. So for a few years, I made documentaries just to realize that as much as the documentaries are great, and they are great because we're seeing things that we didn't see, they don't really create the change that I wanted to create in the West Bank. So I decided to leave the classical path of making films and join a wonderful human rights organization in Israel called B'Tselem. Now, B'Tselem is the Israeli Information Center for Human Rights at occupied territories. And we at B'Tselem understood that what needs to be done is to make sure that we're getting these images, these stories, to the prime time news. So I started the project where I trained 100 families across the West Bank to use cameras. And I want to show you two clips that came out of this project. Please. This is happening in South Hebron Hill, south of the West Bank. The one with the masks are settlers, and they're using all kinds of means of trying to make sure Palestinians will go away from their land. This clip was shot close to the separation barrier in the demonstration. The guy in the green will be arrested in a second. They will hold him blindfolded and handcuffed. And you will see in a second a soldier shooting him in the feet with a rubber bullet. These kind of images, and many others, was shown in the primetime news in Israel and forced the army and the police to start investigation. They brought accountability. Can we take it back once? Sorry, one picture back. Anyway, it's supposed to be black there, so ignore it. To create accountability, and most importantly, it's reduced level of violence in the West Bank. Now, I was doing it for a few years and start thinking how we can take this same methodology, the same ideas to other places in the world. And more or less, in the same times, I met this guy. His name is Yuri Fruchtman. And Yuri was thinking in a similar line about how we can use visuals in a systematic way to create a change, and was already involved in some successful project in the past. We met, we shared ideas, we had a good time. A few months after, when I was traveling to my house in Tel Aviv from another exhausting day in Hebron, confronting settlers, the phone rang. Uri was on the line telling me, Oren, it's about time. Let's take these ideas and spread it to the world. I was not sure if I can trust this guy, but 5 years later, I'm in the stage, and Uri is our head of the board. And together, in 2008, we created Videre. Now, Videre means seeing. Videre eskedere, seeing is believing. And this is the base of what we do. We give voice to the voiceless. We let the world see things that others want us to hide. We equip community with tools to be able to tell their story. We're engaging with citizens in remote and far areas. We give them cameras, we give them support. Our partners then go out and film evidence of human rights violation, and we make sure we amplify their stories to the world. Now, moving from the West Bank to the rest of the world, we had to make sure that we're not putting people in risk. In the West Bank, with all the problems, you can take a camera out and film. There's a good chance nobody's going to shoot you or chop your hand with machete, while for our partners, in many places, this is a reality. So to make sure that we are not risking them, we decided to take all the operation completely undercover. We took and learned methods from undercover resistance in places like South Africa and Ireland, and we are building undercover networks of human rights defenders. Now, to make sure that they are able to film in a safe way, we're mostly using hidden cameras. Now, I cannot show you today the cameras that we are using, but these cameras is cameras that we used in the beginning of the project. Now we know how to take this technology and build cameras that are suitable for the environment of our partners. And you remember the big gun that I had in the beginning? So this is the gun we are using now. Much smaller, much more light, and much, much more effective. So we've been behind the scenes for years, and what we did in the Wired magazine was the first time that we exposed the organization, and still there are many stories we cannot share with you. In one of the countries that we are working in, I cannot tell you the name of the country, the only thing I can say that it's dictatorship. We have networks of 150 human rights defenders that are working and filming what the support of the regime is doing. And they brought in the last years 1,500 hours that most of them you cannot show, but still we managed to create 350 stories that have been seen in 120 media outlets across the world. Now, we're all sitting here, we're all connected, we all have our phones and talking about amazing technologies. In our reality, it means sometimes stashing 200 secret cameras in a car, cross it with a lot of danger crossing borders, making sure it's getting to the people in remote areas. They are filming, have to travel then another 10 hours back with roads, no roads, while our operators flying from other countries just to meet in the middle of the night somewhere, take the information, and then 2 days after, you probably will see it in the news. The guys that we are working in this country doing a variety of projects, one of the projects that they are doing is filming undercover perpetrators, taking testimonies from them without them understand that they're being filmed. I want to show you one clip. To be able to share this clip with you today here, we had to take the voice out, so you don't hear the language, blur the face, and take out names of location and places. And this is how it's looked like. Sorry, this is not the clip. Try another clip. So images from this operation, when possible, share with the media, with decision makers, with international human rights organizations like Human Rights Watch. But the most important things, the perpetrators in this country understand that somebody is filming them. And this creates deterrence. There is no impunity anymore. We're also cataloging all these images in a way that we can use them in court later on. Now, people that know us, and there are some people that know us, tend to think about us as a video organization, but actually we are not. We're an information organization that's using visuals because this is one of the best forms to achieve our goals. And the way we're using the materials, the way we're working with the images, this is the key to our success. Now, we're living in a world that we are, of course, bombarded with information, with visuals, and I think there's 100 hours of visuals getting uploaded to YouTube any single minute. But if you're not working with the visuals correctly, you will not be able to create an impact. So to be able to create the desirable result, we're working with a very strict methodology to put the right footage in the right hands at the right time. It's starting with comprehensive research, understanding which kind of images we need, what is the issue, and which kind of images can create an impact and stop these abuses. We know who is able to film them. We partner with this group. We give them cameras. We give them support. We give them training. We're building a strict filming plan together with them. Then when they film the materials, we're making sure we verify the information, and we make sure it gets to the right places. The same way we are working is applied for any project that we are doing. And some of our projects are not undercover. When there is no risk, people can use a regular camera. And one example that I want to show you is a project we're doing in Kenya, when a women group that we trained years ago to document hate speech and incitement that are done by politicians decided to turn the lens on an important issues in their community: female genital mutilation, FGM. Now, FGM is illegal in Kenya, but still practiced in some rural communities. And we also understood that to be able to create a change, we have to make sure that these images are working inside the community to create the social change inside. There's no point taking them outside. So this women group that we worked with decided to create a video that we helped them edit. I want to show you 1 minute from this video. This is the video that you played before.
Ukufe. Unasikia wengine wakikufa.
Wanilazimisha sana lakini kupata tohara sasa. Sasa vile umekataa utaelewa. Utaita tena utaanza kwa sababu ninaibisha. Ali. Nuta. Ini atoka anya ala ale kamu tepat tete ada ini. Iya. Mana yete. Yete. Ngigongi boleh. Yang mau pakai. Apa itu, Pak? Nasional. Itu yang mana? Koma, itu
So these 2 projects are just part of projects that we are running in few countries. Now, with a budget of around $1 million, with the staff of 10, we managed to run, equip, and train a network of 400 human rights activists that supplied thousands of visuals that without them will never be seen. And there's a good chance you saw these images in the news, but you never knew that it was us, because for the security of our partners, we're never taking public credit on the stories that are out there. And security will continue to be our main focus. But after working years behind the scene, we decided to expose ourselves, to expose the organization, not all the operation, because we do believe there are many issues and places that can benefit from our work. That's why I'm here on this stage, to let you know that you can help us to expose much more violation and stop atrocities. We're changing the way civil society is working. We're making them more secure and much more effective. And I welcome you all to help us, to join us, be it with your technology, be it with your skills, your knowledge, and most importantly, of course, with funding. So join us. Let's make sure that more footage nobody can see being exposed. Thank you. And it's all because of him. Otherwise, we would not be here today.
So, Oren, you use SIM cards to store the data. You've got kind of secret cameras with little cards
inside.
And you don't send the data up to the internet. You physically smuggle those SIM cards out of these countries to where you analyze the film. Why do you do it that way?
Because in the place that we're working, first of all, there's no internet. It's strong enough if there's internet at all. And sometimes the partner don't know how to upload it in a safe way. So to make sure we're not making any risk, not putting nobody in danger, we have to travel. That footage has to travel physically.
Okay, and of the hundreds of operatives you have out in the field, in the front line filming,
400, yeah.
how many of them have been caught?
So we had some occasion that few were caught, around 3, 4. But whenever we're running a project, the first thing we do is building a whole network of human rights lawyers that can help us. There's safe houses, there are escaping routes, there's all kind of emergency plan. Everyone that going to the field knows exactly which phone you have to call and what's the operation and what's the procedure if somebody is getting caught. So sometimes they get caught, but a lot of them are people that are already working in a very, very hard condition with a lot of risk. So I guess if you're taking these 400 people and through the years looking about the risk that they're taking without us, there's a good chance there will be much more people in jail now.
But if they are caught, presumably they're not going to be treated lightly.
No, probably not. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming to share your story.
Thank you.
Oren.